Hello, everybody. It is Andy Smith with your weekly book look. I am a 34-year veteran of the comic book industry, working for Marvel, DC, Image, Valiant, Acclaim, CrossGen, so many others. Now doing my own thing, Astonishing Comics. Anyhow, this is where I pull a book off my shelf. I go through it page by page. If you like what you see, there is a link in the description below that you can use to go buy the book. All right, this one, costume design and illustration. As a comic book artist, we have to do costume designs and such. No way around it. We've got to do it. And plus, I love seeing digital painting and stuff like that. And this book just kind of caught my eye. And I was like, I'm getting it. Now, this book I've had for a long time, like most of my books. Let's see when this one came out. 2014. Now, if you would have asked me if I've had this book for 11 years, I would have said no. I thought this book was like 7 years old. So it goes through, there's an introduction, then it goes through different artists and their process. And they showing how they go about designing characters and such. This page just gives a nice overview of what you'll see in the book. This is fun for me too, guys, because like a lot of these books, I do just pull them off my bookshelf. I haven't actually paged through this book in a few years. Keith Christensen. Sometimes I ask myself, why do I do this stuff? Obsessing, absorbing, applying, imagining, observing, ignoring all to end up with nothing more than an image. I hear you, brother. So he's just kind of talking about his process and stuff. You can see different ideas he goes through, textures that he'll find to utilize into a design and such. That is freaking cool. I just love these guys' digital painting skills. More design work. That's pretty freaking cool. Don't know what it was for, but it's pretty freaking cool. Talks about employment. And he says the serious bit, so he's giving it to you straight, what it's like. Getting employment doing this, that's freaking cool. Philip Boutte Jr. I know I did not pronounce that right, but I tried. And all these guys make a living doing concept art, whether it's for movies, video games, or whatever. See the initial quick. These are quick sketches for these guys. I mean, each one of these figures, what? Maybe a half hour, if that. More looking for patterns and stuff that they can use for textures and whatnot. The magic of costume design is the being able to make the overweight seem thinner, the short look taller, and the slouchy look as though they are standing up straight. 'Tis true. Christian Cordella. That is really freaking cool. So I just love just the texture on this dress. Constantine Sikaris. See, this guy's one of my favorites. That is just freaking cool. So this is kind of cool. This is a 3D model he created. That's a cool looking alien suit. So once again, the 3D model that he created. And you can take that and go in and add the colors and such. Freaking cool, very cool looking gladiator here. That helmet has got to be so heavy. Can't imagine. A warrior pilot. That's cool. I love the asymmetry to the design. Anthony Francisco. Understanding the story is key in designing the relationships between the characters using shape, value, contrast, color, texture. Yes. When somebody asks me, when I do a costume design or a character design, I've got to know some of the story, where they live, the weather conditions, you know, stuff like that, to design costumes that make sense. I love these kind of like initial concept sketches right here. That's really cool. Vampire hunter. And these are like their roughs, you know, so it's not just they start with a blank slate and get to this. They still do roughs. It's just, you know, in the computer and full color and such. Love this. I love seeing this rough art right there. That's just very cool. Neville Page. Neville Page, I discovered him, and I think he was part of the reason I got this book, from a show that used to be on a Sci-Fi Channel about 10 years ago called, I think it was Face Off, where it was a reality show, and the contestants were basically wanting to be designers. You know, whether it be costume, you know, well, it was costume design. Every week they'd have a different challenge and they'd have models to work with and such. And I think he was one of the judges. This is cool. So he shows how he's working with, I believe this is ZBrush, to basically design this costume. So not everybody designs it straight up just in like Photoshop as a 2D piece of art. Some of these guys go right in and do the full bore into a ZBrush program, and he's showing how he designs like the different elements and such. And then he even shows how he can add color to it. I mean, if you're a great designer and you're doing it all in like Photoshop 2D artwork, that's cool. And you definitely would be sought after. But if you can do that and this as well in ZBrush, man, that is just a big boon. And then here's the finished piece. I'm just skimming through, just seeing. So I'm just reading through this. It doesn't say, but from some of the language with the layers and stuff, I think he took the final design into Photoshop to add all the like color and such. Scott Robertson, I've heard of this guy before. I know him more for doing vehicle designs. So it's cool to be able to see him do figure work. I love these little sketches down here. I wish these were bigger. I'd love to see those bigger. So different looks for what he's doing for this sci-fi suit. This is insane, this final design. And look, his name's Smith. The thing I love about this artwork is it looks like, you know, it so looks like a photograph they're rendering in Photoshop or whatever program they're using to do their color. I mean, it's just so mind-blowing to me. And I also look at this, you know, I was already working professionally when Photoshop really came out. I think it was like 93, 94. And I kind of think back going, man, if I had that much of an interest in Photoshop back then and just really worked at it and studied it, just, I can't even imagine where I'd be at now. Now I'm a pretty good computer colorist, but when it comes to doing this stuff, I would love to be able to go study with one of these guys over the course of just a week. And yeah, I know I could look up stuff on YouTube and whatnot. So this I like. It has definitely more of a painterly look. Carlo Arellano. But still, once again, great designs. And the nice thing is these guys are doing these designs, whether it's video game or live action, you know, they can go crazy on this stuff because they're not going, now I got to draw this guy in a 20-page comic or 48-page graphic novel or whatever, you know, in multiple panels and stuff. I bet if they did, they wouldn't go this nuts. Love this take on Beauty and the Beast. This is just really cool. All the different belts and textures and stuff on them. Gerard S. Marantz. Almost looks like an Ultron when you first look at it. Another guy looks like he's using a little ZBrush type stuff here for this pilot. And then once again, this is cool. Here's some rough sketches down here. Love seeing these. And he even says the sketch phase. He works it out in grayscale. Grayscale work, I paint in color on an overlay layer in Photoshop. The color helps me break up my forms graphically and indicate materials. So that's cool. So basically taking this and then putting a new layer on overlay to paint over top. So the grayscale still kind of shows through and such. You didn't think this whole book was going to be realistic stuff, did you? Check it out. Here's a ZBrush of this comic type character he created. The Butcher. Love it. Kevin Chen. Love it. So here we go. Talking about body language. With these rough sketches, arrogant, tense, brooding, and love it. Love seeing this. Wish this was bigger so I could really study these more, these progressions he shows. I'd rather see these larger than this. Like, if I laid this book out, I would have taken these 4 and done 1, 2, 3, 4 in quadrants, because this is a pretty big book, and then shown this as a full page. Here he's talking about proportions and cut lines, contrast and harmony. So this guy really does go into a lot of detail in his thought process and stuff, more than the other artists did. And I like this style too, that I can still tell it's an illustration, and I don't, for once, think this is a photograph. I think this is cooler. Love these sketches right here. Same here. I wish all these progressive shots were just so much bigger. Here he's showing the value of a silhouette. Good clean silhouette. Be able to tell the character apart from other ones, and it's a good silhouette. Guest artists. Probably don't know any. Gloria Shai. Very cool. Paul Christopher. It's cool being able to see the pencil sketch here and then the final there. And the nice thing about this book is, even if you're not an illustrator, but you just want to know more about the process of character and costume design, this is a great book for that, to help learn about what goes into it. So if you're a writer and you're writing character designs and stuff, this book can kind of give you insight onto what the artist would like from you. Alan Villanueva, very cool. Step 1, I mean, there's nothing here, so it's probably talking about up here, or the designer made an oopsie and forgot to put a piece of art there. And then we've got biographies on everybody, pictures as well. Yep, Neville Page, he was on that show. Oh, actually, let's see. Wow, starting in Hollywood at age 17. Oh, he started out on small acting gigs. Oh, that's pretty funny. So that dude, Neville Page, graduated from the Art Center College of Design in 1990, so a year before I graduated, so we're roughly the same age. Oh, wow, it gives him his email address down there. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm just trying to see. It doesn't say anything about that show Face Off. This is cool, so you can look up everybody and see more of their work and such. And then more books. Framed Ink, by the way, great book. This book is fantastic. This is Scott Robertson, I believe, How to Draw. It's all technical type stuff, but that's cool. This one I've looked through, but I don't own. Animals, Real and Imagined. So it's kind of help you with designing different types of animal creatures. And these three I haven't seen before, except, in this book. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's book look, costume design and illustration. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. Please subscribe to the channel if you will. Hit the like button and go check out my latest project, Lilineth, Infernal Conflict, coming from the world of Kor-Drath. Link in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next week. Bye-bye, everybody.